in street. So okay, so you're familiar with that. Basically, I'm not trying to do anything more than just kind of keep this at check and firing off.
Okay.
If I go to this side, I'm going to basically do the same thing here and fire off. Because if you try to hit me with that hand, I can just apply enough pressure where I can keep that from really hitting me hard. And the same thing goes with this side. I can apply just enough pressure to kind of keep you from being able to adjust. So, and so the way that that's on what I call an aggressive offlining move. So if we're fighting and I go here, bang, you know, I'm just going to check this.
Right.
So I've got him doing that on the bag. And at first it was like really hard for him to kind of grasp the concept. But it's a great, because like sometimes if we're here, I can just put my hand right here, and that messes with you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because you kind of try to come back around.
Exactly. And so like if I go here, bam, you know, and so that, but you don't want to keep doing it, because what's the first thing you're going to do the next time? Exactly, you're going to come off with it. So you never want to be too predictable.
Right.
But sometimes those little stop hits or stop checks are really cool, you know? Like if you're inside here and I go here, and all I'm doing is I'm just checking your shoulders,
right,
and then I'm coming around hitting you with some little inside stuff. It's like little inside games you can play with the guy, and you can kind of mess him up. Just enough to alter him so that you can follow up. Same thing with like when guys shell. And a guy shells, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that says you can't go bing here,
right,
and pull his arm down.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, you get a guy that's up against the ropes and he's shelling it. Why stand there and try and get something in? Grab that freaking arm and hit him.
Yeah.
You know, it's legal.
Right.
It's even legal in boxing. So just like little inside games that we play. But so when we do these little steps, yeah, kind of just all the way. So when you go to this side, naturally, if you go to your right, the right foot moves first. Okay. If you go to your left, the left foot moves first. If you go forward, so it's all it is a little step and drag. And so like let me see you make an offline adjustment to the bag. Okay, so sit right here. Now get your head behind this. Get back into your fighting stance. Reach out. You can make contact, can't you?
Right.
Step where you just stepped. Reach out.
Oh, I see.
So a lot of people don't realize that gap is everything. I mean,
Right.
gap is what determines whether I can hit you or not. So if the whole concept behind me stepping offline is to get off of the line of your punch,
Right.
but not to take myself away from being able to hit you.
Okay.
So if you're moving in on me, you're closing gap for me. So I can offline and step back and not worry, because you're actually closing gap for me.
Okay.
But if I'm going to take an offline on you, I want to take an offline where I've actually closed gap.
Okay.
So you got to kind of keep that in mind, what your purpose of getting offline is. It's a two-purpose thing. One, when you get offline, it's why? Because you want to get out of the way of these.
Right.
So you go over. But you also want to be able to hit me. So you don't want to go over too far.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So when we do these offline stuff, that's what I want to see. I want to see when you go to the right, I want to see you take that right foot and step, and then kind of just drag that left foot back, bing, fire. Okay, and then if you go to the other side, you're going to step with the left foot because you're going to the left side. Left step, rotate, fire.
Hey, so it is too, because David said it's a go.
Okay, 2 o'clock's on.
Yes.
We're going to have punch and cookies?
Yeah, I'll bring some.
Get out of here. All right, so I'm going to have you guys do a little footwork. Right in here. You got your camera rolling, or is that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so right now just bounce. Okay, and then when I put an arm out, that's the side I want you to go to. And you don't got to punch. I don't want to punch. Where's your camera? Oh, it's right there. Okay, so just make the step over. Okay, so the first foot that moves is the side to the side you're moving, because you never want to cross your legs up. So if I go this way, you go back. If I go this way, you come forward. There you go. Okay, so now here's the next thing you got to think about. So if we're fighting, this is called center line. Okay, you've done Wing Chun or anything like that?
A little bit.
Little bit. Okay, so you'll relate to this totally. So always controlling center line is really important. If I step over here, who's got center line now? Neither of us.
Oh, yes, yeah. Okay.
Where's your center line? Back where I used to be. Where's my center line? This way. So what do I have to do in order? I'm the one dictating movement. So what do I have to do to control center line if I move off to this side.
Force me that direction.
I have to turn. No, I want to turn on you, right? I want to control center line, so I need to adjust to you. So when you step off a fighter, just think about this for a second. If I'm standing here and I go this way and you step over here and you haven't turned to adjust, who are you fighting?
Right, nobody.
Right.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So compensate. Remember, your opponent's in front of you. So if you go over here, you got to not only go over here, but you got to adjust. Okay, cool. Right. And so there's adjusting and then there's turning. So if I'm fighting Scott and I go over here, I just adjust, right? You see that? He's still got center line here, and that's another reason why controlling that route is cool, because now it's harder for him to adjust to my center line, because that's what he's going to want to do. Right. So if I take that move right here, he tries to turn, he has a problem, and I tag him. Go body, head, whatever. But also, if I go over here and I want to do a big turn, I may decide to step and turn here and really get this side angle, because now I can fire stuff off, and if he shells on me, I can come back up here and hit him with this. I basically have changed all these angles of how my shots can come in.
Okay.
So there's the small adjustment to get off the line, but I still got this shit in front of me. Or there's the big adjustment, which is to get off the line, but now what I've really done is opened up some really groovy angles.
Okay.
So there's two different ways of taking that offline. You can either offline to just get off of his shot, or you can offline and really turn and just open up all sorts of angles.
Okay.
And so like if I got Scotty up, a bad time to do that offline and turn would be like if we're in the middle of the ring, right? Unless he's putting pressure on me, and then offlining and turning is great. But if I'm trying to be the aggressor, offlining is great because now I can go here. But if there's nothing that prevents him from going backwards if he's in the middle of the ring. If he's against a cage, it's a great time to offline and rotate, because typically they get into that little, they get small, and now you can really bam, you can really put some good shit on them, you know, because you're off to the side. So,
Do you like to set it up with like a jab and then offline, or do you just like to do it?
it depends, you know. If I'm throwing feeler jabs on you, I'm going to want to probably either get offline or I'm going to want to blitz through you. So I fight right foot forward, so it's always easier for me to explain when I go right foot forward. But if I'm sitting here going here and I'm putting some jabs in, I'm either going to go here and then just start coming at you straight line, because you probably are going to go straight backwards. Or I'll be here, I'll go here, and then I may come over here and I like to do something like this, and go here and go here. Yeah, so it really kind of just depends on what I'm trying to accomplish. A lot of it depends on what my opponent's trying to give me.
Because you gotta get here right before you do these angle moves.
No. Why?
Well, you wouldn't do it out here. I mean,
No, unless you're going to kick, right? And you took an angle and then set a kick up. But yeah, I mean, would you fight a guy that far away anyway?
yeah. So you're gonna be fighting here anyway. So you're already in
more
the
than
fight.
likely, yeah.
You're in the fight.
You're like my favorite gap is a gap that's right now. I can't get you with this hand, right? So this is about where I like to be, because in all honesty, I can kick you from here, and to hit you, I just got to kind of lean in a little bit more. But I got a little bit of forgiveness. The more gap that you and I have between us, the more time I have to read things, to react to things, you know. So if I want to start pressuring, I'll get really small. Like if I want to get inside beyond what I was comfortable for my gap, I start getting smaller and taking away targets. So back here, I'm comfortable. As I start getting in closer, I start getting tighter, taking away target areas and getting smaller. Does that make sense? I got my chin and my head covered